Hello, everybody, and welcome. And today I'm joined by a very special guest, Becky Henderson from Smart Digital. Hi, Becky.
Hi, Dan.
Becky is the Director of Strategy and Content over at Smart Digital, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right, yeah.
So, Becky, you're here to tell us everything about Smart Digital and what they do. If we could start off with, if you can introduce yourself, just bring your title to life and your responsibility and role in the company.
Sure, yes. So thank you very much for having me. So I'm Becky Henderson. I'm Director of Strategy and Content. Basically, my role is working with our clients to help them to plan their strategies for their events. And I've been doing that for a number of years. Prior to that, I was in publishing. And then I managed content across all channels, including events and publishing for an industry association before coming into Smart Digital a number of years ago, about 5 years ago.
Fantastic. And Smart Digital, bring it to life for us, because obviously you're involved in hybrid events, and we're going to talk about what that means in a minute. But just bring to life for the viewers your sort of services that you offer and who you work with, please.
So yes, so our background is event TV, and over the past 7 years, we've been producing event TV for a wide variety of clients. So a typical job for us might be something like Clarion's ICE London event. Okay. And an event like that, what we would do is bring in a full screen network on site, have a number of different film crews filming conferences, filming speaker interviews, filming sponsor interviews. We run the blog team there, and we do daily highlights in terms of highlights videos and daily newsletters. And so run a lot of those content aspects, and also deliver all the commercial aspects of video that the teams have sold prior to the event. So that would be a typical job. We work both in the UK and then also we have a lot of clients across the world. We do a lot at Dubai World Trade Center, and we do some large events there like GITEX Dubai. We also do Farnborough Air Show in the UK. So we have a wide range of clients.
Fantastic. And obviously, over the last 12 months, there hasn't been much in the way of on-the-ground events. So I know that you do a lot of hybrid work with clients, some of which you just mentioned. Before we sort of talk about what that work is, there's lots of definitions of the word hybrid, aren't there? So what does hybrid mean to Smart Digital and some of the clients that you work with?
So we were actually doing hybrid before the right. Pandemic. So actually, we were doing a lot of streaming before the pandemic. And we were working with our clients across digital channels, producing quite a lot of video, mainly filmed at events that could then be part of their rolling online content strategy. So when we had that horrible moment where we realized all of the events were going to cancel last year, we brainstormed and looked at how those sorts of challenges would change. And initially people were thinking of hybrid being very much as a sort of a virtual version of the live event. But we're now thinking of it as both that, so we are still doing a virtual version of the live event, but also much more in terms of a longer rolling program of content to engage audiences on digital channels. And also that reduces risk a lot because your risk becomes less associated specifically with the event date P&L.
Sure. So interestingly enough, it's not just necessarily replicating everything that's going to happen when we go back to physical. It's actually working with your clients and understanding what bits they might want to film, what they're going to use it for, repurposing of that content maybe to drive delegate acquisition and exhibitor acquisition next year as well.
Absolutely. And also thinking about how people engage with content online, which is different to when they're captive an event, because you travel to an event, you've got all the time in the world while you're there to absorb everything that event has to offer. When you're online, you're doing that quite differently. So really, hybrid needs to be built into the core of the event to engage online audiences as well as your on-site audience. Sure. And quite often that means you can grow the audience too, which is great. So
yeah, because obviously at the moment, and lots of people are talking about sort of 365 engagement, building online communities, not just necessarily having that 2 or 3 day event, which is, I guess, a disposable asset, which then comes back next time around. You say you work in different locations. Are you seeing different sort of subtleties and nuances of how different show organisers are working around the world? Or is there consistency in how they're utilising your services?
Well, a lot of the clients work across multiple, are international, but I'm seeing a lot of people focusing on digital content strategy with our UK clients. Okay. Some of our international clients are more focusing on directly a virtual version of the event, I would say. But overall, I think everybody's moved very fast. I heard something saying that people's digital strategies have advanced by about 6 years in the past year. So I think everybody's really learning about how to engage audiences online, and sometimes discovering good facts. We've got one of our consumer clients in the UK recently attracted about 20,000 people to their virtual event, and then discovered they were completely different audience to the audience that comes to their physical events.
Sure.
So they're actually now going to keep the two going in tandem, and it's a completely new business model for them.
Quite fantastic. And just finishing up on smart digital, are there sort of new services and offerings and propositions that you've brought to market during the pandemic, which were born out of conversations you were having with clients? And if so, can you bring those to life, please?
Yes. So firstly, virtual events obviously came to the fore last year. So we started producing entirely virtual events and developing different technologies and ways of streaming to bring in speakers to run multiple language virtual events, all of those sorts of things, and also to produce corporate virtual events as well. So some of our clients where they would have been bringing people to huge training events or customer events, and they're now doing that online and finding that they're getting just as good engagement through the virtual event as they do in person. So they're seeing them in tandem. But I think another thing that has worked really well is quite a lot of the clients that we're working with on their rolling content channels. So that includes people like Mobile World Live and also Clarion's ICE 365 channel. We are doing a lot of remote filming, remote speaker interviews and remote panels. We're also producing film crews in countries, but remotely producing them. And what that's meaning is that we can get interviews and content from very high level speakers who might not actually want to travel, but if they can afford an hour of their time. So we're actually getting some really, really high quality content on a rolling basis by filming remotely. So initially, I think we thought that was something that was just a stopgap until the pandemic ended, but now it's becoming quite core to the ongoing content offering.
Fantastic, thank you. So Becky Henderson, Director of Content and Strategy for Smart Digital, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Dan.